Hey everybody, today, as much as my daughter doesn't want to do it, I'm going to do a firewood video. This year what we got to do is I got to make room because we got more stuff coming in. I'm getting good charge of wood ahead of me, so I got to make room up on that top lot. More wood's coming in, plus I got a guy that's digging some foundations and wants to give me the gravel off the lots he's doing. So up where some of this wood is, I got to have room for a triaxle to back in a couple weeks. I've got probably 10 times what's sitting right here, so I got to get this out of the way. I don't want to just move the wood 4 times, so I'm gonna go up and try to process a little bit in the morning. So I'm gonna split some of this morning, even though I got better things to be doing. But I don't like having a pile much bigger than this here. You'll see in past videos I have a mountain here sometimes, but it just gets difficult. You're handling it 3 times to get it to the splitter, so I'm going to try to get this split up this next couple mornings and go up and process that, bring it down in firewood length, 16-18 inches long. So I thought I'd do an intro to this video this morning. I'm going to do it rained this morning. The job I got to go to, I'm going to wait till after lunch, let things dry up a little bit. It's on a grassy hill. I got to do some tree cutting. I just soon see it dry out a little bit. Other than that, I'm going to get soaked. It's so grown in, I'm going to be soaked. Just every time I hit a tree, it's going to have water coming down on me. So I'm going to give that a while and try to get an early start the rest of the week. Come up here for a few hours before I start my day and get rid of this. If it gets down to that 17% moisture content, I'll sell it. If not, it will be next. This is all probably next year's wood. And again, I'll be glad I did this come fall. I want to try to have everything cleaned up before snow flies. We'll see. I got a lot of tree guys offering me wood at a reasonable price right now, and I hate to say no to it, but I'm out of room up there right now. These guys back in with like a 12 or 14 foot 16-foot dump trailer and just dump, and now I got to deal with it. But I don't normally buy wood, but right now the economy is kind of weird here, so people are giving me deals on this I can't say no to. I got very little money in most of this wood that comes here. Most of this is stuff I did. What's up on the hill is what other companies been drop. I even had a couple guys drop, they have 3 or 4 logs and they're in the area. They just asked me if they can dump them up there, so I'm getting some of it for free. So I'm not going to say no to it, but it's getting pretty bound up. You'll see that will be in this video too before I start cleaning up there. I've already cleaned up a little bit of it and got rid of it before I did this, but you'll see the mess I got to deal with. I should show in this video too, I've got a pretty good charge. This is all, most of this is barkless oak. Some of that's barkless oak, some of it's camp wood. I still got a cavity here. I can put probably 2 or 3 cords in that corner. Like I said, I've got wood everywhere, but I'll be glad I have it this fall when people are looking for it. And I actually think wood sales are going to be good. I know off-road's been going up. Almost every week I look at the pump, it goes up like 4 to 6 cents. And I think as the weather gets colder, you're going to see the price of oil go up. So I think it's going to be a good year to have a bunch of wood around. And this is actually a pretty good charge of wood for me to have at this point, because I don't know if they're just nervous of what the economy is doing and what's happening in this country right now, but a lot of my customers, the ones that take 4 or 5 cords from me, have already got it delivered to them, which I've never done that. This is the first summer. I'm going to say it's the first time 2 or 3 of them guys took their wood 6 months earlier than they normally do. All right, I just thought I'd take a shot while I got that big pile down to this point. I'm going to split a little bit more tonight. I think what I'm going to actually do next is take these big chunks and break them apart, get stuff ready to split in the morning, because it's getting kind of late tonight. So far that's all the barkless oak we ended up with. There's probably 1/3 of a cord I'll have when I'm all done. There's a lot of oak left that I got to split, and even the ones that are that big around, you end up getting a lot of pieces out of them that are barkless. I took 1.5 cords out of here this week and delivered it to someone got my name through another customer or on the marketplace in our town or whatever it was, but it was a disabled woman that needed some stuff this year. She normally goes to 1.5 cords, so I loaded that to bring over probably tomorrow or the next day for her. But I'm replacing it with the stuff I split up that was pretty dry. Some of these were standing dead that came down this spring from that bad snow. They actually got pulled down by other trees coming down, and that will definitely be dry enough in 3 more months of sitting there on the fence. She's owned this home for a few winters, and she just keeps getting burned by these firewood guys that sell her green wood, sell her stuff that's too big. Last year, she actually went to a bigger company, and she said she didn't know, but people that helped her stack it in the house said there was a lot of pine in it. So it's just one thing after another. And the last guy that delivered to her also got $490 a cord, supposedly dry wood that wasn't dry. I'm going to be cleaning up that upper yard so I can make room for triaxles to get in. And I also want to keep care of the last of that camp wood that's in this little lean-to. Firewood selling quicker than normal, but like the camp firewood this year has been quiet, and I thought it might have been just me, but everybody I talked to, there's a store out near me that normally goes through skids of it. He's still working off the same skid. I just want to show, we got the big chunks broke up on the 40 ton. I'm super impressed with that so far. I think this is going to be the third, I know it's the third splitting season, but I think this is going to be the third winter. So I've had no issues, no leaks, nothing's loosened up. Seems to run good. I do put it away with True Fuel in it. But if I'm not bringing home these big chunks, that doesn't run sometimes for months at a time. It starts right up in 2 poles. It's got the 14 Huss Kohler motor on it. And like I said, I'm super happy with it. 40 ton, you got that Tractor Supply. And it is pretty fast. I mean, it says fast, 9.5 second cycle speed time, and it is. It's that's all I want. Like what I normally do is I'll do that much up with the big chunks, and in the morning I'll split those and mix it into the round wood. But that gives me a piece I can pick up, and manage a lot better to put on this super split. And then I'll split it up. The oak I'll split up to the barkless oak, so it's real small. I haven't sold any of that this year. I don't normally sell that till late in the season anyways. I do have, I think there's 3 customers now that take it. I'm going to have probably 3 or 4 cord, at least 3 or 4 cord more than normal. The price of wood in this part of New Hampshire is just all over the place. I just helped that. I just said earlier in the video, a disabled woman that's in a wheelchair needs wood that's small enough so she can manage, because she lives by herself. And she just uses supplement heat. She only goes to 1.5 cord, 2 cord a year. So I just did up basically a 1.5 cord that's going to be manageable pieces for her. And some of this stuff's just been sitting around for a while. I had another landscape guy in town that decided to clean his yard up, his landscape yard up, and he had a lot just pieces everywhere. And a lot of these big chunks of stuff he brought me over. The oak still, it's not wet like normal oak would be. I'm going to guess he cut this stuff down a couple years ago, maybe even longer. And he kept saying, oh, I'm going to get to it, I'm going to get to it. And then he called me one day and he says, hey, I got my excavator home, I'm going to load it. If you want it, I'll bring it right over in my trailer. So I took it. Free is always good. And I don't mind. I mean, this is a workout, but that's why I do the wood. This is just an exercise program to me. I don't think there's enough money in firewood to make a good living at. As you get older and semi-retire or something, maybe you could do it. But the only time I feel I'm making decent money on this is if I'm getting paid to take it down, and I just get rid of it on the other end. So I get paid to take it down. I end up with it for free. So when you sell it on the other end, you feel like you make it. But anybody that's buying grapple loads now and splitting it, you're not making enough on it to as far as I'm concerned. With what I do with business, this is the least profitable end of it. But I enjoy doing it, as weird as that sounds. I came up here, like right now, I think it's like 10 minutes of 8. I came up here, I've been up here maybe messing around for 45 minutes. Gave me a little bit of a workout. Good way to end your day. All right, we're getting ready to split up the last 10 or 12 pieces of that first pile. I just figured I'd show this working. I guess we ended up with well more than a third of a cord of barkless oak in that pile. I just want to show back here is all cleaned up. That original pile that was here, it took me basically 4 mornings to get that picked up. We ended up with a pretty good pile in that corner. That's probably on its way a 2 cord. I put another cord that I took out of this and sold this week and put that back in because some of this stuff was pretty dry. I enjoy doing it. I come up here and have a cup of coffee, split wood for 45 minutes to an hour, and then I start my normal day. I got deliveries. I've literally got, it rained hard last night. You can tell by looking at the ground. We've been getting downpours that are just like serious. You can see the bark mulch pile. Everything you see here that's dry is probably going to be going to newer customers. I still got a few customers that take like a cord or a cord and a half. Will show up the hill in a minute. What I do is I bring a skid like this over. I've already sold. This is a skid from last year, so as I empty them, I'm going to try to fill them right back up. I'm probably going to end up splitting 3 or 4 cords of barkless oak the next couple weeks. Like I said, I don't normally deal with it this time of year, but I got to get into it a lot. I got a bunch of this wood on, and I'm not dealing with it 3 times. So as I pick it up today, I'm cutting it up, bringing it down here. I think I'm going to be buying a pretty good chunk of straight oak, white and red oak from a guy that's good sized firewood stuff. Probably some of it's good enough for the mill. We'll pick through it as I get it, but I think that's going to be my fall project. I love splitting wood in the fall when it's cool in the morning. Like I said, I'm not dealing with this twice, and I'm also not going to be afraid to have some wood ahead. Right now I'm really doing well because, like I said earlier in the video, I've delivered a lot of what I normally have for customers. My normal customers, all but maybe 5 or 6 are already done. So we'll get this put on. I cleaned up. Give you an idea of the mess it's created. I probably split, I'm going to guess, around between the pile that was here and some birch I brought down to mix in as I was splitting it, probably 6 cords in 3 or 4 mornings that I've been up here. There was probably a couple 1-yard buckets full of waste. But we're going to go up the hill and do some splitting up there. I mean, I actually cutting to bring down here. This load was a mixed batch. I did the big stuff, small stuff, but the stuff that's got to get split on that 40 ton, I think I'm going to try to bring that down and dump it close to that rather than have it mixed into the pile. We're up on my upper lot. This is kind of like a throw-all when I get busy and people call me up and got a load of firewood logs that they want to give me, or if the price is right, I'll take them. I kind of got to get this picked up because I got a bunch of gravel coming in from a couple other construction guys that are digging foundations in here and want to get a place to get rid of the gravel. They're digging out of the basement because it's lakefront property and there's really no room, so they want to dig it out and put it right in a truck. So I told them I would take it. That pile of real bony looking gravel that's in the middle underneath the excavator arm, that's pretty much all going to a job I'm on this week. So matter of fact, I'm hoping to deliver some of that today, so I'm going to try to cut this up this morning, get back to that corner, and at least get it so I can get in there and get into one corner of that and haul that off today. And the stuff coming in is, I know it's in where I live, so I know the gravel in here is pretty good bank run that they're going to dig out for those foundation holes, and the price is right. All right, we'll get going on it. I also want to say in this video, and I've said it in many other videos, I hate using my excavator to deal with firewood because there's not enough money to be putting hours on the machine. But this pile here was loaded with an excavator and it's pretty twisted up, so it's just easier for me to take it apart and leave it hanging, and I'll cut it, and I'll cut through that pile in 40 minutes instead of 2 hours. But just so people know, I don't agree with using an excavator to do firewood with. Cutting these big chunks up. These are ones I had given to me. Logging guys don't want to mess with them. Guys that can do small. He ain't really a logger, he's a tree guy. Big difference. But all these big chunks, I want to show them cutting up today. One of my buddies up here that does, he's a landscape company but does a lot more tree work than I do. He came up with this stuff. This stuff was sitting in his yard, he thinks for like 2 years. Kept saying, oh, I'll get to it, I'll get to it. And then he called me up one day, he said, I got my mini excavator home, I'm going to load this up and bring it over. So I got it, but it's a lot of wood. You split that and That's a lot of pieces of wood. So I'm gonna load this up with the loader, bring it down to my 40-ton splitter. But I just thought I'd do a shot, and what I do is I cut as much of the nastiness off as I can. That would have just made splitting out a pain in the butt. All these pieces that stick out. So, but we'll get it. I just thought I'd take a shot where we're at. A pain in the butt. Still a lot of good wood in that though. Get these diced up. It's real work, but I actually enjoy doing this. And when you're getting the wood for free, there's more money in on the other end, but even that's got a lot of good wood in it, especially for someone that wants it for a wood boiler. They like this hardwood. They throw in big chunks at night. Pretty much told me if I can get it to split up small, split it. If not, if you end up with a miserable piece, just throw it in. So that's the guy to sell this to. But I've got a lot. There was a lot here originally. It was all the way out past the loader, and probably 3 weeks ago. But my plan is to the next 5 or 6 days get this cleaned up. And there's still some big stuff over there too. That's clean though. This is the last. There's probably 6 more pieces of this nasty stuff. That one there I'll probably just toss, but there's still a lot of nice wood here. And I'm almost through the real miserable stuff to deal with. I don't like this because it's too big. I'm in my 50s. I don't want to lift it up and throw it around anymore. But I'll come up in the morning with my grapple bucket and probably grab 2 or 3 pieces at a time. I want to stack it fairly close to that 40 ton. And I'm going to break it up enough to put on the super split. I just thought I'd take a shot where we're at. Chainsaw needs a little bit of love. Chain's loose. This is the first of the big stuff I cut up on the hill. Checking this with a moisture meter, I'm getting like 22 to 24% moisture. I got somebody that wants this split up, and they got a wood boiler, so it's gonna go anyways. But I only sell dry firewood, but I'm trying to help these guys out. They wanted some wood a little bit cheaper. So I said I got this, and for what they're going to do with the wood. Most people with wood boilers don't really care about the looks of their wood, where if you're putting it in a fireplace in your living room or something. I'll show you in a minute. There's another big pile up there I've been going through today. I thought I was going to go through this quicker. I just got busy with other jobs, and I've said in many videos the firewood is like a side thing I do. I just get to start a lot of it through the landscape business, and I deal with it in the end of the season. If I get anything else going, I try to do the other, money making work. The firewood, I be careful when I say you make money doing it. I enjoy doing it. Other than that, I wouldn't. If I have anything else to do with my landscape business, I'm better off doing it as far as cash flow. But we'll get up there and show you what we got up on the hill. I've been up here for like an hour buzzing up some of this bigger stuff. This stuff's real dry. I don't like cutting. That's why most of the logging guys give these chunks here, or tree guys. Not necessarily logging guys, because they'll chip everything, but a tree guy doesn't like dealing with these standing deads. they just cut miserably. Like a wood with a little bit of dampness in it actually cuts better. When the grain gets dried out, I guess is the way to explain it, but it just sometimes they're a little bit miserable to cut, especially if there's a lot of like limbs coming out of it. But I run into a few pieces like this. You'll see the sawdust is pretty big for the most part, and then you'll get through like where a limb's coming out, like right in here. That will almost come out like sawdust instead of a wood chip. And you'll see I dug them out of the pile. I'm setting them to the side, cutting them. That was a little center rotted, but there's still a lot of good firewood in that, especially for a wood boiler person. But I want to try to buzz through the rest of this. I'm only going to cut probably for a couple more hours, and then I've got a few days, a few afternoons of splitting. Get this down to the splitter. I got some chunks like this. Same thing. These come out of someone's yard. You'll see that there's a nail sticking in that. So far I haven't hit anything real bad. They're dirty. Some of this the guy gave me. It was stuff that was sitting in his yard. I think he moved it 3 or 4 times with his machine. And but you'll see pieces like that. Like I said, these tree guys would just assume get rid of that. But there's a lot of good firewood here. And if you're getting it given to you, I don't mind messing with it. One more big chunk there. Other than that, that's pretty nice firewood. Mostly oak too. I have found most of this when I checked with a moisture meter, even like that oak, that was it's pretty dry for the most part. But we'll buzz this up, get it down the splitter, and keep going. And again, I'm going to say, my daughter's like, I don't think people like the firewood videos, but I just explained this is just another avenue, a landscape. All right, we'll get back to it. Have that little power care chainsaw sharpener. It's like a Dremel tool. You hook up to a battery, it plugs into a wall. But I got a little crazy. You can see the chips are pretty big. Sometimes I take the rakers down too much, but it's all right. Like that's a 460 Rancher, and I have the short blade on it with a short bar. So as long as you got the power, you do that to a 28-inch bar. And you got to have a big saw, it dogs it right down, but that one seems to be handling it. But I just wanted to show, I don't know if the camera shows it that well, but pretty good sized chip coming off that. But this is real dirty stuff, so as I've been cutting it, I'm trying to bang it around. I picked it up with the forks, dropped it a couple times on other logs to get the dirt off, but no matter what you do, this stuff's been moved a couple times. You'll see the bottom of that was pretty dirty. I'll probably sharpen the saws 2 or 3 times to get through this bunch of wood. I've already got, I'm going to say 6 or 8 cord out of this pile of crap that's already cut and split. Most of this, I think I'm going to, like I said, the woman with the wood boiler wants it. And she's going to mix it in with the other wood she's got to get through the whole season. Dried wood in this spot in New Hampshire is going to start climbing in price. It already is a little bit, but like if oil prices go up, everybody's saying oil prices are going to go up, which is normal, election year, plus it's getting close to winter. So I want as much wood. I gave the woman a little bit better deal on taking like 3 cords of this versus taking my dried wood. And with the boilers, it really doesn't matter. You can throw whatever in those and it tends to steam off. They even stick chunks of pine in it. Like the ones that are outside your house, I don't know why I'd burn everything if I had one. Skids but I just thought I'd take a shot where we're at. We're getting through that pile slow but sure. I'm gonna take a shot. We got everything cleaned up. I'm all done now anyways because I just hit a rock. The last couple pieces I cut here, there was a good size potato sized rock sticking out of the ground. I caught it pretty hard, so that chain's done until I sharpen it. But I got everything other than that one piece back there. All the stuff I put up here, all the big chunks I got cut up. This was the last of the nasty stuff that had a lot of mud on it too. So from this point on, that stuff's fairly clean. Also, the last of the gas that was in this container had as much water as gas in it. That saw was running like crap. I normally dump a little treatment in it. I got some, I think it's called T100 Napa cells. Really does, it makes it run through anything, because I have a hard time dumping gas out. It was $4 a gallon, especially if it was ethanol free. I'm finding out this year though, I'm going to say that during this video, I don't think I'm having any better luck with buying the ethanol free. I think you're better off just buying a regular gas and treating it. I use a stable marine product that supposedly keeps the moisture from going in it, and there's another jug that I can't think of the name offhand, but it's a blue, looks like blue Kool-Aid, but I've been using that for 3 or 4 years. But I think I'm all done buying the ethanol free, other than you might see me buy the True Fuel to put everything away with in the winter. But all right, I'm gonna call this for today. I just want to show we got some wood loaded up. Guy see me delivering to someone else, decided he wanted a couple cords, and then he called me back, decided he wanted 4 cords, so I got this loaded up. But I wanted to throw it together today, get everything loaded. That's one good thing about having the trailers. And at the end of the season, if I got a few cord that's got to go, I normally just throw it in the trailer so it's ready to go when someone calls. I don't think I've ever not run right out of dried wood. Normally it sells right out. So, but this is stuff that's been drying for a year, so it's in good. It's like 17 to 22% moisture, even the stuff that was in the middle of the pile. I got rid of my 16-foot trailer, but this 14-foot trailer, you got to kind of stack it on there pretty tight. But that hauls 2 cords, so my 16-foot, you could actually put, that had the big high sides on it, you could actually put 2.5 cord on that pretty easy. Then the Griffin has a cord, the truck has a cord. Like I said, I kind of know, I take it out, all this came out of a stacked fence line that I had, so I know pretty much what a cord is every 8 feet basically. But my loader bucket, it's pretty much if I put it in a bucket, like if I'm picking it up from a actual just dump pile, about 10 buckets of my Kubota loader is a cord. So and that's with me putting it in the bucket. If someone else does it, it may not, but I know when I'm loading I can pretty much be pretty accurate with that. I've never really had anybody, I think I've had one person in like 5 or 6 years complain, and that guy actually said, I think you're 14 pieces short. So I gave him his 14 pieces and told him I'd never be back. So I've been bringing some more of that big stuff down off the hill. I'm going to finish doing that today. I got to have it out of the way before Monday anyways. I got quite a bit of barkless oak. I got to check this. This is getting gray looking, which is a sign that it's dry, but I still want to check it with a moisture meter. Normally the oak, you got to go the full year drying it, even if you split it up small like that. This field is real good. This upper lot just gets sun on it all day, and there's normally a real good breeze that comes down across this hillside most days. So whatever I put up here dries pretty good. Like I said, I still got a pretty good charge of wood ahead of me. So this is what's left up on the upper lot. Still a pretty good chunk of wood there, really. But I'll probably get that cut up in the morning. I just thought I'd take a shot where we're at up here. All right, after what I just showed you up on the hill, this is what we ended up with for a pile to pick at this week. And like I said, the bulk of this is gone. I got somebody taking it for their wood boiler, so they don't really care about the looks of it, and if the lengths are off. Some of this stuff's like 12 inches, some of it's 18. Some pretty gnarly looking pieces in there too, but they don't seem to care. They already got 2 cord from me last week and like it enough, so they want to get 2 more. They want 4 more. They're just I believe I'll probably save it for them, whatever's left, even after the next 2. They've been customers of mine for a couple of years, so I try to help them out. Firewood, just a side thing for me anyway, so if I can cut a deal with somebody, help them out, I will. Call it my good deed, I guess. I don't know. I just thought I'd show where we're at. Just want to show we got that all cleaned up. I didn't know if I was ever going to see this cleaned up. There was a little more involved with that than I thought there was going to be. I thought there was like, that end pile I thought was going to be like 4 hours. It took me a little longer than that. But it's all cleaned up. Guys are going to start backing in here probably any minute now. dumping triaxle loads of gravel in that corner. I had it all cleaned up a little bit last night. I don't like working on Sundays, but I told my wife I'm going to go up and deal with the rest of it. But I got a bunch of chunks that I didn't want to deal with, so I'll get rid of that. This will get I want this lot really cleaned up before winter. I got a job coming up where I'm going to take most of that stuff that came off the screener, but I just want to show I did deal with 99% of what that got given to me by the tree companies. And that pile originally came out right to here in this driveway. So I don't know how many dump trailer loads it was, but it was 4 different companies that were bringing me wood in here and dumping it. And like I said, the last of it that was there, 1 load I paid for. All the other stuff, these big chunks, they just give you they don't want to deal with it. But I don't know how many cords of wood I've got, but in the last I'm going to say the last 4 weeks of just dealing with it, a couple hours here and there, I brought down and split over 8 cord already, and I'll show you the pile in a minute that's still left. But I also, the logs that are to the right, that'll be an upcoming video, but I'm going to dice them up. And one of my lean-to barns I'm going to rebuild and make it more of a weather type building to put some of my stuff in to get it out of the main garage. I would also like to be able to back all my tractors undercover before snow flies this year. We'll see how ambitious I get, but I really want to do it. But I've probably got 5 days on the mill to cut between that pile and the pile that's down on my lower lot. But I basically got to make up a bunch of 2x4s, 2x6s, and then a bunch of just 1x. I don't really care the width. I'm just gonna, it's gonna be a true barn. The pile that I ended up with, this was basically from the last 2 weekends. The original pile that's probably in the beginning of this video, that all got split up and hauled off. This is all stuff I brought down, I would say in the last 14 days. And there's still some pretty gnarly looking stuff. I'm not sure how my daughter will dice this video up. It's a lot of small videos, and it aggravates her when I do it that way, but this is just something I've been picking at. There's a few chunks here from the original pile. Again, that's not going to be pretty looking wood once you get it split, but that's pretty much ready to burn. You split that, and especially for a wood boiler. So I got at least 2, maybe 3 more cords of this going out for somebody with a wood boiler. So I'm careful who I sell this stuff to. I'm going to keep taking it. There was a handful of pieces in there that I dealt with this year that I probably shouldn't have. Like I said, you can't have hours and hours in firewood. There's just, you don't get the money out of the other end. I do it because I somewhat enjoy it. It's just another revenue. I've always looked at my business. I don't say no to much. You'll find in all my other videos. The firewood thing, I think a lot of guys just say it ain't enough money in it for me to mess with, but there's always a rainy day or a rainy morning where I can come up here and split a cord of wood or whatever, rather than not. There's jobs I'm on sometimes, all 3 jobs I got open. If it's pouring out, I can't be there working. I don't want live soil if it's a hillside. So there's days at a landscape company on a real rainy day, I'm glad I got something like this to do. And it's just another, it keeps a little bit of revenue going, I guess is how you look at it. And like I look at firewood as it's money in the bank. Get it split, get it drying. And that's the thing with me, I don't sell green firewood. You sell it as dry wood, you might as well get the top dollar out of it. But I just thought I'd take a shot where we're at with the pile. All right, we're gonna end this firewood video here. I'm hoping people like it. It's just some of the other stuff we do. My daughter thinks the wood ones are boring, so she doesn't like editing them and put them on, but I told her I'm just trying to educate people a little bit on things you can do. Another avenue. It's just another avenue for a landscape company to make money. But I end up with a lot of wood through the business, so you got to deal with it. You might as well deal with it, try to make a buck on it. I also do these videos to educate people a little bit, just what people are looking for in my area, anyways, in New Hampshire. Just this past weekend, that's another reason I'm doing this ending. This weekend I delivered wood to somebody that's lived up here. The wife's lived in this town all her life. Grew up in a house that had firewood heat. They live in a house now. Her and her husband have been up. They've had that house, I think, for like 21 years. I delivered them wood this weekend, and they said that's the best wood they've ever got. I'm the only one. He said last year they actually had a friend of theirs they knew pretty well deliver them wood, 2 cords of wood. Normally they only go through a couple cords. They use it as a supplement heat on real cold days. But he said, I don't think anybody's ever given us an honest cord of wood. And he said, I was more concerned about having dry wood. This is what the husband was telling me. If it was dry and it would burn good, I was happy with it. Because he said over the years, so many people deliver you wood. And each cord you get, like half of it would be green. They'd mix it in. Very dissatisfied. I dumped my first load out, and he said just the noise it's making. It's got a dry wood when you dump it and it hits a hot top driveway. It kind of has a noise it makes. You can just tell it's dry. But I literally dumped my big dump trailer, had 2 cords on it. I dumped that out, and when I came back, I had another trailer with another cord, and then the last one I brought with my dump truck. But I just want to mention that in this video. If you're gonna get into the wood business, just be honest with people. Give them an honest cord of wood. Don't mix pine in with it. I mean, I hear these stories. That's one of the reasons I do these firewood videos, is there's just so many crooked people. And I think a lot of it comes from the guys that are just doing firewood as a business. There's times of the year you ain't generating a lot of money. So I think it's not a good reason to become a shyster, but you are. I mean, I've heard the story. Every year I hear the story how, oh, I got a cord of wood. There's a lot of pine in it. I delivered a couple cords to a disabled woman this year that asked on the town page, hey, who's honest? Can I get some, 2 cords of wood from? I delivered that day. She's disabled. She only had this house 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. She's never gotten what she'd consider dry wood. And she only knows this because she has people volunteer to help her get it into the house and stuff. She's in a wheelchair. So they stack it in the round rings on a porch, and they stack it next to what's left that doesn't fit in the house. But these people that help her do know. And like they said, that I'm the first, same thing, 4 years of getting wood, or maybe 5 years. I think it was 4 years actually, but 4 years of getting wood. I'm the only one that's ever delivered her an honest 2 cords of wood. That's sad. I just can't believe the shysteriness that there is in the firewood business. There's one of my buddies up here that's a logging company. He only sells green wood. He's got, I want to say he's got some years 275, some years it's like 325 customers. Some of these people are taking 8, 10, 12 cords of wood because they got an outside wood boiler. They're heating a big old New Englander farmhouse. Some of them are heating a garage that's attached. So that's a lot of wood firewood he's doing. But he only sells green wood, and most of his customers buy next year's wood this year, and they've always kept that. They buy it cheaper because of that and let it dry. I would suggest that to anybody that can afford to. The first year you're going to be getting double the wood in a sense. You're going to need whatever you need for dry wood, and you're going to need that next year's wood. Let's say 8 cords of wood that's green. Then the following year you order green again. I think in my case, what I'm finding this year is money's tight. I'm trying to help some people out. I don't think most people can call and say, hey, I want 4 cords of wood delivered. Most of them, I'm doing a lot of 1 cord deliveries, and they'll pay me. Then they'll say, well, let me collect my thoughts on this. And then they'll call me a couple weeks later and maybe get another cord. I got a woman right now that took 2 cords a few weeks ago. She let me know this week, and it's probably going to be another week, but she wants a couple more. And I run out every year, pretty much. Someone's always calling me in the middle of the winter. Hey, someone said you got dry wood. It's something too. I'm one of the few guys that call if I do have to advertise. Like once in a while, if I have a lot, a couple years ago I had a lot of wood. I would put it in a trailer, take a picture, and put it in the marketplace. Dry wood for sale. I sell my wood as dry firewood, ready to burn. That word seasoned, I'm going to say it and say it again. So many people get cheated on that word seasoned. Everybody thinks seasoned's different. Seasoned to me is dry wood. Some people say no, seasoned's stuff that's been down for 3 months. Well, depending on what species of wood it is, like oak has to be down, split, and drying for a year, or you don't get it down to below 20-something% more. You want wood, my magic number, because I grew up in a house too, a big family, and we heated with all wood, very little oil. But because I know a little bit about wood because of that. But your oak has to sit a year to get down to like 17 to 20% moisture, which is that's the magic number that I grew up with. And my dad seemed to know what you know. And I burnt wood for quite a few years. I don't anymore. Selling my wood is how I buy my oil. Pretty much, it goes from I sell one fuel to get another fuel. That's the sad truth to it. Welcome to New England. We have a bad winter. I'm in a pretty, even my garage I heat is a pretty efficient heating. I've insulated everything well, so I don't blow through a bunch of oil like these people up here. A lot of people in this town have the old New Englanders that are just like go through. So I have people I deliver wood to that go through 6 or 8 cords of wood and 12 to 1,600 gallons of oil. So serious heating bills in this state. So, but anyways, I'm going to end this video here. Like I said, I'm going to try to do wood videos once in a while and educate people. That, and if I buy a new saw, I'll demonstrate the saw and what I think of it. I just think it's I know I like watching. I do this. I don't want to say for a living, but I cut a lot of firewood in a year. I still like watching other guys on YouTube that do these videos. I mean, I've learned, I don't know every species of wood. I'm learning that by watching YouTube. I know hardwood versus softwood by cutting it, but there's all these species like white birch. People either love it or hate it. I have people that call me sometimes and they'll tell me right out, I want a cord of wood, but I don't want any birch in it. It doesn't make sense because birch is a good way to light the fire, and it is a hardwood. A lot of people like the looks of it. Like this year I haven't had anybody call, but some years I have people call that want all white birch and they want the bark still on it because they're putting it in front of their fireplace and they want the look. It's sad true. That's another thing I'll say in this video that you can learn. My customers over the last 5 years, I actually have a handful that they want good looking wood, if that makes any sense at all. I have other people with wood boilers. They don't care if it's got mud on it, the bark's falling off. You get a piece that doesn't want to split up good, you give them a big chunk, they don't care. Most of my customers are my customers because I split my wood real small. I started doing that quite a few years back because I have elderly people that asked me. They wanted something they could grasp in their hands. So I split all my wood small. That's another thing I like about that super split log splitter I got. Out of everything I've owned all my life, I'm 55 years old, I've owned a lot of log splitters. My family's had a lot of log splitters. That super split's made the most sense to me, how that works and how quick it is. I'm starting to feel my age now, but in my younger days, if I would have had that, I could split a serious amount of wood in a day. If someone made a bet with me, I think I could split a quart of wood in that probably in a little better than an hour by myself if the stuff was decent wood. And it does split. That's something you see YouTube videos where, oh, them kinetic splitters don't split nasty wood. They do. The reason I bought my 40 ton is because I don't want to pick those big pieces up anymore that weigh 100 and something pounds. So I bust them up. I'll bust like a 3 or 4 foot round piece up with the 40 ton so that I can lift it and put it on that super split. But you can split so much more wood in a day. 1 or 2, especially if you had a helper. Like a lot of your videos, it will be 2 guys splitting wood. One guy's splitting it, the other guy's making sure you got a new piece to go on it. You know, a lot of families get together and split woods for the whole family basically. But 2 guys with a super split could do a serious amount of wood in a day. The processes will never make sense to me because you start paying $40,000 to $150,000 for a wood processor. That's a lot of wood a guy like me has to sell before I'm making $1. Even the super split now I think is over $4,000. I think I paid $3,200, $3,300 for mine when I bought it quite a few years back now. But I think that brand new now with the bigger table I think is like $4,200 and change. It's a lot of money. So I think there's not a lot of money in firewood. So if you're looking at my videos thinking, oh, I might start selling firewood, don't. I'll tell you right now. It's a good exercise program for a guy my age. That's another. I enjoy doing it, and I really do it for the exercise. I feel good after I do it. We'll see in a few years. I'm thinking working like this is keeping me above ground a little bit longer. Whether that's true or not, we'll find out. But anyways, I'm going to say thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this type of stuff. Don't be afraid to comment if you want to ask a question about firewood or the splitters I use or the saws I use. If you ask a question, I'll answer it, I promise you. So again, thanks for watching.